So here we have Super Robot Wars Z2 Hakai Hen, a tactical role-playing game for the PSP. This is a game I just did not want to put down. When one mission ended, I just wanted to go right into the next one, and when I couldn't do that, all I could think about was the next time I get my chance to play. The game really grabbed my attention. It is perhaps the best Super Robot game I've played. I say perhaps because Super Robot Wars W was so good, but in my opinion this game matches that one. It's real close. With many of the games it feels like you're running in mud to get to where you're going. In Z2 Hakai it feels so smooth in gameplay. They have stripped the game down to its core gameplay loop while adding quality of life features to give you such a fun, streamlined experience. The battles are well placed and never overstay their welcome. The menus and access to information you need is so easy to find now. In terms of difficulty, I would say it's a fairly easy balanced game. There are some boss battles that might give you trouble, and one cannon fodder enemy I'll mention later, but outside of that you won't have too much trouble. Extra challenge can be had if you try to get the SR point for each stage. This is usually something like clear the map in 3 turns or beat a boss in 4 turns, etc. This is just here for players that really want to test themselves. Not long into the game you will start to face these dimensional beast creatures. These are very annoying cannon fodder enemies that cause status effects every time they land an attack. That could be draining your robot's energy or lowering your morale, etc. I usually dedicate 1 or 2 super robots to wiping them out, meaning I will spend all my SP points and big attacks. Normally you should save such things for boss units, but these guys are so tanky and annoying, I'd rather just get rid of them ASAP. A nice feature I really liked in this game was the sub order menu. This allows you to keep suits that you haven't been using much in battle up to date. There's 5 slots for each type. Training gets you 20 pilot points. Guard gets you 2 kills for each pilot. Simulated battle gets you 500 experience points. And funds earns you X amount of cash. You can only run this once after every mission, I guess to stop you from abusing it. I was sad there wasn't an actual shop in this game, but when this menu unlocks it's actually better. You can buy additional skills for your pilots. You get 6 slots with 3 are already filled by default skills. It's best to pick skills that best suit your robot. So for example, if your robot is a sniper, a good skill to buy would be the hit and away. This allows you to attack and then move after, which is great for snipers to move into their next spot and keep the distance from the enemies. I actually found myself spending way more time in the training pilot section than I normally do. I think this game more than any with this feature really plays into how you tailor your robot to get the best out of its abilities. Exia comes with a default skill that is quite broken. Instead of hitting away it's more like hit and kill, because at 120 morale you basically get another free turn where you can move and attack again. This makes Exia a nice little death machine that can do serious damage in wiping out the minion enemies. This game doesn't have a squad system, but what I would call squad attack. Rather than filling the roster with grunt units, they instead only appear when you have enough morale to pull off the move, using the prime robot. For me this is a really cool idea, rather than having to waste slots in your team. This game really loves its route splits. Literally after the first 2 missions it puts you on a different route. That has to be the earliest out of any Super Robot or game I've played, and it continues throughout the game. Route splits means your team gets divided up, so you have to decide what robots to play with. Since this was the first game I played with Gundam 00 suits, I just picked whatever route allowed me to play as them. The whole reason for route splits is for replay value, and believe me, this is a game you're going to replay. When it comes to the Super Robot World franchise, you need to understand that there are 3 mainline series: the Alpha series, the Z series, and the OG series. This is the second game in the Z series. Do you need to play Z1 before this? No, not really. Sure, there's some little things that appear from that game, but it won't ruin your enjoyment of this game. Just to confuse you further, this is part 1 of Z2. Since the game was so big, they decided to split the game into 2 parts on the PSP. It's kind of like how Sega split Sonic's last true 16-bit adventure into Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. You can enjoy either one on their own, or you can combine them for one epic experience. It's the same here for Z2. The story here is that you play as an ex-military guy named Crow, who is very much a cool stand-up person. However, he has been left with his late father's debt, which is 1 million G's. Crow ends up being the test pilot for the Braster to help pay off his debt, and finds himself getting drawn into what I can only describe as dimension warfare. There's also a running joke throughout the game about him paying off his debt. Crow's theme music is one that grew on me over time, and I really started to enjoy it. I also really like this game's version of Seed Destiny music. The OST overall is really good. You know what else is amazing about this game? The roster. This might just be my second favourite roster of all time, second only to the legendary roster that is Super Robot Wars Alpha 3. That roster won't ever be topped. It was basically the big send-off for all many classic 80s and 90s mecha shows. However, Z2 Hakai has Gurren Lagann and Getter Robo Armageddon in the same game. Say no more, I'm sold already. Take my money, take it. The roster is jam-packed with so many of my faves, and what I really like is that it even makes me care about the shows that I haven't even watched. For me, that is always a good sign in a Super Robot War game. I praise the GBA for putting off amazing sprite work in Super Robot Wars J, and I have to give the same praise here for the PSP. What it's doing here is a technical marvel. The battle animations are incredible. We are not even in the HD era, but the animations could go toe to toe with any of the games that came after this. In fact, it put some of the modern games to shame. I miss the days when devs push hardware to its limits, and this game really shows what it can do despite the limitations of the PSP. Once again, the animations are impeccable. The more I play the Super Robot Wars series, the more I seem to find that this franchise works best on handhelds, which is funny since the IP started on the original Game Boy. We have come such a long way since then, but the series can't escape its true roots. Z2 Hakai Hen is an incredible entry in this series. While it's not in full English, there are some great FAQs out there. I would say play something like Super Robot Wars W first and then this. You will have such a blast playing back to back bangers of games. Alright, thanks for watching.